he's pretty much a mainstay.
Yeah, it's going to be Morgana, 100% if for Canyon. I think Canyon's Rumble hasn't looked amazing. Whereas his Morgana, I think, in terms of the amount of pressure that he's able to generate has been great. There's been some questionable plays, but that has just been DAMWON Kia as a whole. And I'm hoping that this is a flex pick, because Khan has had his inconsistencies, but ShowMaker on a mobile AD assassin would make me very, very happy. I do really love this Nautilus pickup, and we're seeing this more and more. The Kaiser has really risen in priority over the course of this tournament, and that Kaiser Nautilus is literally the most straightforward plug-and-play bot lane that you can possibly have, where you can leverage leads, you can find prior, you can basically do anything with it. So happy that it's taken away. I think for Elyoya specifically, I like him more on the Udyr than on the Morgana, because I think the Udyr really enables him to go for those early game power plays that I think he's been really impressive in.
Yep.
As we get the Gnar ban, possible Silas ban, although with the Gnar banned away, it might not be as high up the prio list. And I think playing into both a Silas and a Lee Sin would make me very scared, because that means it's very do or die. But you have faith in DAMWON Kia, and it is after all your birthday, so let's hope that that comes to fruition. As the Alistair also taken away, incredibly strong with the Kaiser, not necessarily as good. And this means Beryl's champion pool is actually going to get tapped, and with Senna he has a lot of depth, but without it this might be a bit of an awkward position for DAMWON Kia here.
Yeah, I actually quite like the Trist bottom lane, especially after what we just saw, and I'd like to correct you just a little bit. It's not that I think that DAMWON are going to win. I actually think that Mad have put themselves in a better position in this tournament thus far for that prediction. However, you know, a boy can dream on his birthday.
My bad, my bad.
That's what I'm going for here. Is the Orianna is going to be the final ban here, and the 5th for DAMWON Kia, getting rid of that from Humanoid's wheelhouse. Of course, does have the Viktor if he wants to go towards something very standard there in the mid lane, and that will be locked away. When it comes to blind picks, it is a pretty comfy one, as Rel being banned shows that we are well and truly getting towards the dregs of the support champion pool.
It could be looking towards a Gragas.
Are we playing support Morgana?
Support Morgana is a possibility. Support Rumble is also we've seen, even within the LCK. It's not very likely, I'd personally say, as this would make a lot of sense in terms of comfort for ShowMaker. It's a pick that he can get so much done of. The early prior that he will be able to leverage is going to be great. And that Morgana-Zoe combo, we've already seen in the last game how threatening that can really be. This would mean, however, though, the Sett, and with the performance of Beryl thus far, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think we've seen things like the Gragas support come up, especially in the LCK from time to time, but it will be the Sett, and I'm not loving it into the Nautilus, into the Tristana that can just bust a shot you away, into a Viktor. It's possible, but it's hard to make work.
Yeah, I actually kind of like the idea of flexing the Morgana. It is a lane that has been played in the past. However, she is just extraordinarily strong in the jungle, and Canyon is going to hold on to it. As now we have that 5th pick, it's of course over to Armut to pick that one up if he would like, and it is going to be the Shen locked away into Khan's Lee Sin. We didn't talk about this, of course. Khan certainly a Scion abuser there towards the top side of the map, but he has been playing so much Lee Sin, it is ridiculous in solo queue. Hasn't exactly been having the best time if you've had a look at some social media of Khan complaining about EU West, but he doesn't play over there all that often, so he's not really used to it just yet. But I like the Shen pick here from Mad. Gives them a lot of more global options, and also doesn't lane too badly towards Lee Sin. Will get shoved in, especially with the buff to the E, but still should be pretty capable of just chilling out towards the top side and then stand uniting whenever he would like.
It's really nice to negate the passive, right, of the Lee Sin, and that is a substantial part of his damage. As you said, I think it's still going to be prio for Khan. I still think he has a lot more threat in that lane than Armut will. But the Spirit's Refuge does provide you with a lot of safety. Lee Sin trying to weave in as many orders as he can with the extra attack speed, and that's not going to be a possibility. As a whole, though, I really like the Mad draft. I think it's very stable in case that DAMWON Kia are going to try and play for side lanes. You have the Shen, which just provides such a reliable and consistent way to answer that without really putting yourself at risk. And as a whole, this is feeling like a feast or famine comp for DAMWON Kia. Yep. And thus far, it's been more famine than feast for them.
It has. They have had some of their games that have looked very dominant. This is a composition that needs to have another one of them if they're going to win, right? This is what, it's very similar to what PSG put together in game number game number 2 of the day, when they were able to take down RNG. But they did it by keeping their foot on the accelerator the entire game long. DAMWON Kia need to do exactly the same thing And I think a lot of it is going to come from the bottom side of the map. Remember, the Tristana was on the other side of the rift for that comp, and actually felt like it worked very, very well, transitioning from early to mid to late game, utilizing the power of Trist where it lies, right?
And one of the problems that DAMWON Kia is going to run into is that they want to skirmish post-6, right? Because, yeah, as I said before, you want to play for objectives, you want to get the early Heralds, the early Drakes, you want to try and get plates. But the problem is that once you're online, you're faced with two problems. One, it's not like the Mad comp can't fight early. Tristana, Nautilus, and Udyr still provide you with a lot of CC blow-up potential, a snowballing. If the fight doesn't go 100% correct, and Carzzy is able to just jump back and forth, we've seen him do a lot, and that's where the Shen pick comes in, because the moment Armut hits 6, as DAMWON Kia, you're still forced to go aggressive, but you need to do so while taking into account the stand united, and that's something that is a very rough line to balance, and it's not something that DAMWON Kia, even when they looked at their best, have looked the strongest in, right? It's been the team fighting, it's been the macro, it's been the late game decision making. So coming into this game, Mad Lions must be feeling pretty good.
Yep, and this is another one of these DAMWON Kia drafts that doesn't feel entirely cohesive, right? Feels a little bit on the fly, as we do have the Facebreaker early. Carzzy burning down, as Kaiser will find a bit of extra CC to keep his Tristana alive. Good start this time for the DAMWON Kia bottom lane, and they need to keep this up.
Crucial there is that Ghost doesn't use his flash, so that means he has a lot more offensive capabilities. Didn't get greedy for the final plasma proc there, which would have been a big chunk on Carzzy, but also created a situation in which he would be a lot more vulnerable. So DAMWON Kia applying pressure, but still not playing it too risky.
Yep, well, Bubble going to connect here. ShowMaker in the mid lane as Humanoid gets taken down to about half, but the trading is actually going pretty fine for both of these mid laners. And Khan is, of course, going to get the shove into the Shen in the early stage. We mentioned this. This is going to be DAMWON Kia playing with a lot of priority as Elyoya looking to try and get the flash out of ShowMaker here. Flashes forward for the stun, actually, is ShowMaker down to 100. Oh, there's the flash in from Humanoid for the first blood, and it's a great start for the Mad Lions.
And we have more action in the bot lane here.
Yep, Ghost looking for it onto Kaiser. Does proc the plasma that time around, but in the end, Beryl going to suffer a little bit more, but otherwise, DAMWON Kia is still okay.
Going to be a heal and an ignite used, and ShowMaker, I'm not sure why he waited that long with using his flash. I think he thought maybe Canyon could path towards him, who was in the general vicinity, or thought he could stay alive for a little bit longer there. But feel like if he just flashes there right from the get-go, doesn't greed, goes into the fog, there's not really a lot that you can do as Mad, because you need to respect Canyon. And that's not a great start, right? This is, ShowMaker has been one of the players, as we see here in the Neo X Effect replay, that has actually been kind of the fundament rather for DAMWON.
Yeah,
he's been the consistent play, and giving up a kill early to Humanoid is going to make that lane much more comfortable for the Viktor that is just looking to chill, shove out waves, and get to a point where he gets 1-2 items and starts carrying team fights.
Yeah, not a lot of pressure on Humanoid here to perform in the early game whatsoever, and already he has first blood. So that's working out very nicely, as Kaiser is going to be able to find himself a dredge line. Ghost is going to use that flash from earlier, as that's a very long-range Facebreaker. Haymaker gets a bit of follow-up damage. Kaiser is going to keep himself safe, though. But this is, it's getting pretty aggressive here towards the bottom side.
Heal's still available. Greedy from Ghost there. I get the will to try and get the cancel. On the other hand, keeping them in the lane I think is good with the heal advantage, combined with the fact that you're already building up a CS lead. Mad are really looking to kind of back, you know, get their items, get their health back up full, but it's also something that's really risky as DAMWON Kia, because if Kaiser hits a hook and Carzzy jumps on top of you, Ghost will still die, through heal or not, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, precisely. So now that that flash is down, does mean that the all-in potential certainly going to be very strong from Mad. The Udyr, though, trying to catch back up after spending a bit of extra time finding that kill in the early game. It did mean that Canyon was able to rocket ahead. Couple of camps in the lead right now, make that 3, as Elyoya has ran out of options around his side. And now Dragon's going to come through, but here's another Facebreaker. Carzzy taking a lot of damage, Haymaker for a lot as well, as the Ignite's now ticking down. The last tick will do it, and Beryl picks up the kill in the end. All of the aggression finally paying off, but Elyoya is sticking around, wants to get some revenge for the bottom lane here. What are they going to pick? Because that's a great Facebreaker, as now Ghost trying to get some damage back. Haymaker onto Elyoya. Ghost will be taken down though, but Khan will eat through Kaiser, and it's a 1-for-1 in the end, but Teleport had to be invested from DAMWON Kia.
And that means any subsequent play coming in from Armut is going to be a lot more potent, but in the end, it's a trade that I think is beneficial for DAMWON Kia. They're able to get the shove in, deny more CS to Carzzy, who's now level 3 against Ghost, level 4. Will now just ding it off the wave, but is falling pretty decently behind. And I think that that is one of the avenues that DAMWON Kia also need to utilize. Humanoid freezing the wave here. And I think as a whole, Mad Lions are playing really nicely around punishing DAMWON, knowing that DAMWON has to play forward, has to play aggressive, has to look for plays, and try to counteract that with how they place their waves and how Elyoya is moving around the map.
Well, Canyon is going to be able to find himself a binding on to Kaiser, but he's also going to fall asleep, but he'll be able to make it back underneath the turret just fine. And as you were talking about, right, like, this is not changing the state of the game almost one iota when it comes to the gold or anything like that. As we have a look at the replay, Carzzy just burning down, had to watch as the poor little Tristana falls.
And then here you have again the punish coming in. Ghost and Beryl, I think you already have the shove there. I don't think you actually need to go that far forward. The teleport gives them a sense of security, but still giving up Ghost there isn't the greatest of feeling. Don't really think it's necessary. Beryl picking up the second kill there was interesting as well, because I would have much rather seen it gone to Khan, as it would leverage him ahead, and I think the Lee Sin uses the gold a lot better. Because as we saw in last game, the currently Sin build, Lee Sin top, actually skills decently well, right? Yeah, you'll never be a late game character, but you could see that, especially if you find some early game prowess, the Lee Sin can actually decently tank, you can make a lot of plays, you're pretty beefy.
And the E does so much damage if you get to a backline as well. It's actually ridiculous.
It's a lot. And it's one of the reasons why we see him be one of the more heavily prioritized solo laners. Go back to the game that DAMWON Kia lost against C9, where it was the first pick lead for Fudge that proved to be pivotal. And now, this early game, it's a small lead, but it's not really enough. DAMWON Kia, they need to get more... they need to get more Drakes, they need to get more pressure, because if they don't, I feel like Mad Lions, hang back, scale up, Carzzy's going to get more range, Humanoid's going to feel fine, and then in mid to late game team fights, sure, Shen is not a straight-up tank like something like a Sion would be, but he can still provide so much security. The taunt is super threatening and provides really nice lockdown, and just the damage of Humanoid and Carzzy, if you buy them a little bit of time, is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. The onus definitely not on Mad to make stuff happen. Dredgeline, though, is still going to come on forward here from Kaiser. Does just spot Beryl out of position. And will just get a bit of damage there as Beryl just going to use that Facebreaker on the wave. We'll see whether DAMWON Kia are going to be able to get towards this Drake, because right now it looks like Mad have so much control of that area, even with Canyon on the bottom side. And you can see Control Ward in that brush. Canyon just going to be taking his red, and this is going to be the Drake just going over to Mad, seemingly for free. Yeah, all too easy. I
think this is okay if you get Herald. If you secure Herald here as DAMWON Kia, and you can turn it into a sizable gold lead, I think you'll take it for the early game. While I think Drake stacking is something that you can opt into, DAMWON Kia as a whole have really been favoring Herald, generally. And just injecting gold into yourself, making sure you hit those item spikes early, is still a reliable way to get ahead, right? It's just, I feel like it's a little bit less consistent, it's a little bit riskier, because just a single Drake buys Mad 5 more minutes if they do fall hugely behind. And it's not something that, as DAMWON Kia, you're going to be really happy about. However, if you can get a dive, if you can get a gank, and with a Sett roaming around as Beryl's moving in the general bot lane vicinity of the map, maybe if you can find someone, blow them up, and then get a little bit of time with the turret with the Herald, you can break that open, and that's when DAMWON Kia should really start to get rolling. But as we've already said a couple of times, that moment needs to come within now in the next, say, 5 minutes. Otherwise, I feel like Mad can just slow down to the extent that teamfights are going to keep him hard. And they're not impossible for DAMWON Kia, right? Because if someone oversteps in the side lane, if someone gets caught by a bubble, or a binding, or a kick, then there's still possibilities, but it just becomes so much harder. And Mad have been looking so good in that mid to late game, mid-game especially, which is such a big difference from how they looked in the first group stage.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that their consistency, especially as we transitioned into the Rumble stage, has just really, really tidied itself up. It's very, very nice to see from the European representatives. Q's going to miss there from Khan, but he's just continually shoving waves towards Armut over and over again. The Shen's certainly very durable, though, and is just comfortably chilling underneath this turret, as Khan is going to take a bit of damage there from the Shen, as, like you were saying, Spirit's Refuge pretty strong at denying Khan all of that extra CDR and things like that, all of the attack speed.
And I want to see DAMWON Kia try and make some plays. I think bot lane is looking like a good avenue.
That's a that's some reaction time there from Carzzy.
That's really good. But it does mean the flash is gone, and that means that any subsequent hack flash play can possibly create an opening. ShowMaker, though.
Yeah, he's going to get stunned up. There's the Chaos Storm, as Elyoya does have flash available, but they decide not to go underneath the turret. They're just pressuring ShowMaker out of the lane as best they can.
There's no objective, though, so I think this doesn't really get that much done. It's also not an actual heal. It's a spellbook heal.
Yep.
So nice attempt from Mad. But even if this isn't successful as Mad, if you just force ShowMaker to back, that means ShowMaker isn't roaming bot. That means ShowMaker isn't roaming top, right? That he isn't making a plays out on the map, getting himself or his teammates ahead. And that's already a win for you as the Mad Lions. I'd personally say opening on top side might be possible, though no one near, but Humanoid does have the teleport available.
Yep, Elyoya is spotted on the bottom side of the map, so this is likely where that Rift Herald play is going to happen. As you can see on your screen, Canyon puts it down, but Mad here with the extra pressure on the bottom lane, and Ghost and Beryl decide that they want to sit here and fight. This is going to be 2 versus 4 underneath this turret, unless ShowMaker can get back in time, and he does have teleport available. Mad understand that, and they're not going to bite off more than they can chew, as it looks like Shelly is going to grab herself another charge.
And this is really good for DAMWON Kia, exactly what they needed to do. And this is starting to feel more reminiscent of the DAMWON Kia we're used to seeing. They don't get their early leads through kills, they get it just through lane pressure, through picking up plates, picking up CS leads, and using the Heralds aggressively. Khan needs to make sure that he doesn't die here, though.
He does have a Blast Cone available as, okay, it's not going to do anything at all. Just manages to get all the way up into the sky, which is not what he wants, as there's the kickback, but the taunt's too good, and that is going to be Khan caught out of position. I thought there might have been an avenue to safety there, but Khan did not quite find it.
I feel like if you flash over the wall there, sure, Elyoya is there, but he tried to get to Kane as soon as he could. These are exactly the type of kills you can't afford to give up as DAMWON Kia, right? You want to keep your pressure up, you want to be able to continuously deny anything from Mad, keep them on the back foot, pick up that next dragon, and giving up random kills like this just going to put gold in the pockets of a team that has been performing really well even without early game leads. And if I look at the item completions, I think DAMWON Kia are going to be looking at maybe the Everfrost finished. We now see Khan does have his gold drinker available. These first item spikes need to be hit as they go into this dragon fight, because while the first dragon I think was okay to give up, I do not want to see them give the second one up, because that is the point where Mad are just one Drake away from soul point, and with a teamfight comp with so much hard engage like this, and a way to reliably deal with split push as well, it's a really big risk to go into.
Yep, I think it's a little bit too scary. 100% agree with you, as ShowMaker is just going to clean up this mid-wave, deny the cannon first. Very nicely done. And yeah, we do have 15 seconds until that Infernal Drake is going to spawn. Ocean and Cloud are going to be our 2 options this game for our souls. And Humanoid teleports back to the mid lane. It looks like Mad are going to start setting up around the area with Elyoya moving down. It does show that it will be this Drake that's going to be the focus for Mad. Control Wall goes into the back of the pit, though, and this time, as you mentioned, DAMWON Kia not going to give it up without a fight, as now Beryl moving on down. Elyoya's in position. DAMWON Kia know it, as there's the showstopper. Kaiser is going to be the option. Moved on back. Stand United coming on in, though. The teleport as well, as DAMWON Kia do bring everyone towards the bottom side, as Carzzy's caught off from the rest of his team. But Mad setting up the phalanx now and will be absolutely fine.
And this is the position you want to be in as Mad. And Kia need to find a great team fight here if they want to contest this Drake.
Yeah, Ghost just trying to clear out the minion wave as best he can. You can see health bar starting to go down lower as ShowMaker over the side finds the bubble, as you can see. As Carzzy does have a little bit of a nap in the brush, but he's going to be safe. And the Drake now down to about half health. Khan moving on into the pit, slightly away from the rest of his team. Safeguard going to get him to safety. Beryl just running into the enemy team and dying. Not what you want, but Binding will connect here as Mad Lions. Their health bars are slowly but surely going down lower, but now Ghost into the backline. That's not where you want to go. Flashes out now as Khan is going to take matters into his own hands alongside Canyon. And you can see Carzzy, he's down to about no health now. Mad Lions were trying to dance the dance, but DAMWON Kia do it just that little bit better.
And it's on the knife's edge. Carzzy barely alive, Kaiser barely alive, and I thought that was going to go the way of Mad Lions. And here you see, with this composition, one thing that DAMWON Kia has bought themselves, even though that was an extremely questionable play from Beryl, is that the outplay potential with the champion is there. If Zoe can just keep throwing bubbles, if Khan can find openings, even Ghost, with what looked like, again, straight up just getting killed, is able to just barely stay alive with a combined Killer Instinct and Flash. But if it's already looking this rough for DAMWON Kia, and this is for just one Drake, I think this game is going to go the distance, and that might mean that we get more of these incredibly close fights.
Yeah, I feel like fights like this get more and more mad favored as the game goes on, assuming no ridiculous gold advantages and things like that. So as we have a look at this one more time, DAMWON Kia, it was very weird in a lot of ways. But in the end, you know, the Canyon flash in with the classic Morgana play was enough.
It was just a bait. We're going to go with that one. It was just a bait from Ghost, okay? That's the only way where you can look at that play and be okay with that, because it feels like Mad has control of the team fight. They slightly overextend into a Canyon that then flashes forward and goes for his shackles.
Yep.
And that is really what seals that fight, combined with Khan's actually ridiculous AoE damage. You already pointed it out, but like those ground slaps really hurt. And Carzzy getting taken low, some of the poke from the Zoe coming through, some of the poke from the Tormented Sword coming through, and that creates a situation in which Matt can't actually fight. Now, the 3K gold lead, it's starting to approach that critical breakpoint, right? At 60 minutes, that's good. It's not quite enough. So Matt still holding on. DAMWON Kia still looking for plays, and they might go to what, surely?
Yeah, it is still looking like DAMWON Kia have enough control for now. Still not something you're going to be very happy about as an LCK fan. The Mad Lions still certainly with options here. But I think, like you were saying, Shirley, is going to be on the cards here. DAMWON Kia like to break down turrets as quickly as they possibly can. So far, they've only taken one on that top side, and that was with the help of the first Herald. So likely that they're going to look to that again. But you can see Elyoya, he's already there, and looks to be trying to take this one down before DAMWON can get into position.
The setup is so beautiful here from Matt, because they shove the bot lane out. Armut, of course, has the Stand United available, but Khan doesn't have teleport. So there's no way for DAMWON Kia to contest this. Like, they just can't get into the river, they can't get into this objective, even if they had vision, because you will always be fighting at a deficit. And so they need to give up this Rift Herald. And second Herald, you know, surely not quite as pivotal as Shelly is, but it's still something that you'd like to have as DAMWON Kia, because it can get any push that you find much more oomph.
And also, the more map control you have with a composition like this, absolutely far more happy you're going to be moving into a mid-game. Yeah, far more better. First language Australian. There we go. As the outer turret does fall in that mid lane, the Zoe turret, as our friend Wolf likes to call it so often on the LCK broadcast. This is absolutely what you want if you are DAMWON Kia, as Khan's going to do the same thing towards the bottom side, and that is going to be more of an injection of gold into DAMWON Kia. 4,000 now. You're not 100% happy yet if you're a DAMWON fan, but still, it's looking like it's working, as the Mad Lions still just sitting back, chilling. I feel like when there is going to be that play, though, when Armut finds the target to jump on top of and then turn things around, I feel like I can feel Mad waiting, biding their time.
Look at Khan and Beryl.
Yeah, Beryl coming in from the back. There's the showstopper to bring Carzzy forward, as Shirley is going to be diving in as well. Beryl's going to make it out. You can see Khan looking for the kick in the back line. The taunt's too good, though, as Khan has to safeguard to safety. Good knock up there onto Humanoid, as now Canyon going golden. Kaiser likely going to get stunned. Elyoya breaks the chains, though, and Kaiser does the same thing. No full-on engage has actually happened yet, and Mad are just going to walk on out.
Oh, this is such a tight match, Atlus. Both teams are just continuously looking for positioning. Humanoid forced a flash there.
That was like, he dodged everything so well until he realized that the bubble was going to be on top of him. Oh, man.
I think he could have sidestepped the bubble, but then you're just standing there, and then they just walk up to you.
Yeah, no, exactly. You need to then walk through it, and then he'd still have to flash.
Oh, man, what a tense game here. And this is, again, this is the miscommunications that we see from DAMWON. That engage from Beryl is really good. If there's follow-up, but there's none. And the fact that they can actually out-execute this, that Khan doesn't die there, sure, that all goes well, but this can never be the type of play that you're looking for. Mad Lions really well tries to capitalize on what is a very asynchronized engage coming through from DAMWON Kia here, and are also able to just stall the game. And yet again, stalling is the name of the game for Mad Lions. We are getting closer and closer to Carzzy hitting a second item, Humanoid hitting a second item. As long as you can hit those timers, you're going to feel so much more comfortable going into any subsequent fight, because it means that there's health bars from DAMWON Kia that now are every time like within 10%, they're just gone. They're just dead.
And DAMWON can't then move towards the, oh, well, we'll just split the map and try and go for split push, because Shen exists. And Shen is so good at saying absolutely no to that type of win condition. DAMWON should be able to grab themselves this Ocean Drake pretty comfortably, as you can see. Mad not interested in that part of the map whatsoever. Baron's been alive for 20 seconds, so congratulations to Baron for making his way over here, but looks like that's not going to be on the cards for the next little while, especially not with Mad playing this game so patiently for now.
And they don't really need to do more. DAMWON Kia, and this is where the big win of that early game comes in, where they were able to pick up the Drake, and we pointed it out earlier on. And this is where you actually reap the benefits, because you don't have to fight for that next Drake. Sure, Soul Point is a bit scary, especially with Ocean Soul, which is just... It gives DAMWON Kia a lot more consistency in these fights, because they can just reliably poke and not be too afraid. And something that might be a problem for Mad is that if DAMWON Kia actually take control of the map, it's just Kaiser, right? And while the Nautilus engage is good, it's also fairly telegraphed. That might become a little bit of a problem, because you know DAMWON Kia, they want to set up and just poke with Void Seekers, with Trouble Bubbles. And if you have an Ocean Soul, that becomes much more threatening. But due to that early Drake that Elyoya was able to pick up, with a complete lack of vision on the bot side from DAMWON Kia, they can now just say, you know, in 4 minutes, we won't fight. We're just going to wait for just a little bit more power in our composition, and then we go for the all-out team fight. We win that, we get Baron, and we end this game basically immediately.
Well, we'll see whether they can actually make that one work, because like you say, it does certainly feel like Mad biding their time, waiting for their moment. Bottom side of the map, though, Khan did manage to push in another wave. DAMWON Kia just doing their homework right now, making sure that everything is in the right position. Beryl sweeping on through, but won't be able to find all of these wards, as that sweeper is now on cooldown. DAMWON Kia, can they extend this gold lead further? Because honestly, like, it was at about 4K, like, what, 10 minutes ago? Something like that. I mean, the initial plays from DAMWON were good. The extra plates they were able to get with the help of Shelly was very good. But the extension of this lead, something that DAMWON used to be so good at, which was perpetually adding advantage after advantage, has not been happening. And I'm not attributing that to DAMWON Kia not looking like they used to be. This is Mad cutting losses really beautifully around the map.
On the upside for DAMWON Kia, I think that Carzzy, now that look is actually decently far away, so the continuous pressure on bot side from DAMWON Kia and Ghost and Beryl, even though Beryl, you know, at that one death and at that engage, it didn't look very good, has still been able to like put Carzzy on the back foot to the point where I think it's really going to be 10, 15 more minutes, unless he finds a couple of kills, for him to really come up big. And with how dominant that bot lane has been looking for Mad, I think that not being online might actually be a little bit of a problem. Of course, Humanoid with the Ludens and the Banshees will still have a lot of damage, but I think DAMWON Kia have already shown that these are not going to be straight up team fights. It's going to be very pulled apart skirmishes. They try and deny you any opportunity to actually fight you in a choke, because once the space is there, DAMWON Kia can actually blow up targets in seconds.
You can say Elyoya actually denied his wolf camp. I believe the Gromp has been taken by Khan almost every single spawn for the last 3, or something like that. Certainly being able to add a fair bit of pressure, but these are not exactly the big leads that you're looking for. As here on our Verizon 5G all chat, you can send us all of your tweets if you would like to, and we can read them out on the broadcast here as well. And possibly you could let me know how you're feeling about this particular game, because DAMWON Kia, they're winning, but it's not feeling like they're winning enough just yet. And Mad still waiting for that opportunity to make this composition come online. Slowly but surely, Carzzy's getting levels. Slowly but surely, Armut's getting tankier and tankier to be that full-on frontline that DAMWON Kia don't really have. Oh, okay, we're looking for it. Humanoid gonna get taken down to about half, as Gravity Field's pretty good, and eventually the flash has to be invested. But it's just the flash, as Khan also had to put his into the mix as well.
Yeah, it's a flash-for-flash trade. I think the flash on Lee Sin, obviously less valuable than the one on Humanoid. Humanoid is a Viktor who does not have any mobility built in, whereas Khan is Lee Sin, who we've already seen can escape from, honestly, comedic situations. I'm looking at that mid lane scuffle earlier.
Does take away from Khan's pick potential quite a lot, though.
That is true.
Because kick flash is very important, and if you're going to go in, like, you need to get the rocket jump, you need to get the flash, you need to get a lot of things on that checklist to try and kill the Tristana, and now it's on Beryl to try and do almost all of it himself. Of course, Showstopper very powerful, is Humanoid going to take a bit of puddle damage. And yeah, I absolutely agree, Tom Sonic. These team fights are absolutely extraordinarily close.
I'd find it hard to quantify exactly how close, but they are very, extremely,
Is very going to be your metric?
I I would like more time to think about it, but I don't think you're giving me any, and I don't think this game is giving me any. This is a pivotal breakpoint. You need to get this Drake, as DAMWON Kia is mad. If you can win the fight here, it might just be what gets you definitely ahead in this game.
Well, Armut's going to teleport in to make sure that the 5 is set up immediately. Stand United, of course, available, not available, as of course it was used on top of Humanoid earlier. That's something that I actually missed, as I did think that Humanoid's shield from his Q was a little bit larger than it should have been, so I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be a trade of the Drake for the outer turret in mid lane. Oh my goodness, that bubble was so close. The Carzzy's going to be able to move out of the way of it. The Duck Binding not quite long enough either, as DAMWON Kia, you can see they're looking for it, looking for an opportunity. Not able to quite find it here, as Mad are just keeping themselves together. Now, it is going to be DAMWON Kia able to push up towards this inner turret. Vision going on over, Q going to miss there from Khan. As the rest of Mad now wrapping on around. Not a lot of vision here for DAMWON Kia, as finally that control ward going to be taken down. Armut not able to find the taunt onto Beryl. He's going to walk his way out of this one, and once again it's a tightrope. Oh my goodness.
It's an LCK style back and forth, that's for sure, if you look at the kill score here. It's low, it's high action, high stakes, but low actual kills. And that's because both these teams know that for Mad, one misstep is the end of the game, and that's why they don't go for that Ocean there, right? You know you have the time, it's just sore point, just try and get to those next item benchmarks. Whereas on the side of DAMWON Kia, they also know we can't hard force. If we hard force and we blow the fight here, our lead is gone, and then this game's become exponentially more difficult.
Well, Canyon looking for a binding, finds it pretty comfortably there. Is okay, Khan says goodbye to Carzzy, and that might be the pick that's going to start things for DAMWON Kia. However, just one may not necessarily be enough. They are still heading over towards this Baron, and my goodness, the jungle is so dark for the Mad Lions.
And I think they can just do it. Ghost, at this point, Kaiser goes through these objectives so fast.
Oh my, it just popped. Absolutely nothing that they could do. Elyoya walked on over. I don't even think he really understood what was happening. And then all of a sudden, Baron yells, and DAMWON Kia managed to get a big old buff. So have a look at that Red Bull Baron power play to see how much further ahead DAMWON Kia can get, because it's not all over yet. However, that one pick and that transition into a Baron might just be the beginning of nails into this coffin.
This is one of the most LCK style. This is old school LCK, right? Where people are complaining, there's not enough kills, there's not enough action, where are my explosions? But this is both teams recognizing how little space they really get. Now with this Baron, DAMWON Kia is going to be able to actually get the shove, and that's going to provide so much more opportunities for ShowMaker to get damage done, for them to move up with relative safety, although they need to be a little bit careful. Kaiser is maybe looking for an engage here. Armut has the Stand United available. Yeah, they were trying to make sure that Carzzy looked as tasty as possible at that instance, as we saw. DAMWON Kia not going to take the bait though, as Armut does get that wave shoved in, like you were talking about, towards the bottom side of the map. Khan doing the same thing on top side. And this is the siege. Should be that they'll be able to grab that top inner at the same time. That's going to be the first couple of turrets to add to that power play. As Mad setting up a little bit of a gank brush. Beryl gets the ward on over, and the jig is up. Mad Lions positioning absolutely known. The red buff is going to be secured by ShowMaker. For some reason, I believe he smoked that with a smite that he picked up on the ground earlier. May as well give it to you, Zoe. Yeah,
I imagine Kaiser probably would have really liked it, but that's fine.
That's a lot of sparkles, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you necessarily need it?
With how ShowMaker's been playing this tournament, give him all of the buffs. Give him absolutely everything. They are going to do exactly that, as he now has Baron, Blue, and Red encircling him. And once we kill his Ocean Drake, there's a possibility that they could get towards an Elder if they would like. That being said, if we're talking about Elder timings and things like that, I feel like Mad are in a pretty good spot, because this comp might have come online just enough. Beryl in the area, but Khan absolutely not. You can see ShowMaker still making his way around as well, and man, we are still walking this tightrope. It's still feeling so close, despite the fact that a Baron was got for nothing, or just for a kill onto Carzzy.
And I think the key
doesn't feel like enough.
The key thing here is that with the automatic prio that you get from Baron, it's making it so much harder for Mad Lions to actually contest this Drake, and they can't give this one up. On the other hand, DAMWON Kia, they might just say, sure, go for the Ocean Drake, we don't care.
It's also 40 seconds away, and they've got a minion wave and 2 siege minions heading towards this inhibitor turret. And yeah, Mad, you can see they're backing. They realized the misstep that they made is DAMWON Kia will just take this one for free, and that's going to mean that another wave... Oh, okay, no, the inhibitor is going to stay alive for now. Dark Binding was pivotal there. Onto the Udyr to stop him from being able to get on forward, as now he's going to take a snooze, which is suboptimal. Down to half health here as another Dark Binding's going to land. The disengage here from DAMWON Kia has been great. Black Shield also brilliant as Kaiser now caught with his pants down. He's going to be taken out of this one. Second kill onto Carzzy as well, and now the doom is setting in for the Mad Lions as in goes Ghost to execute Humanoid. And in the blink of an eye, I think this game's over.
It might just well be that the wave is coming, Canyon is picking it up, and no one is alive that can actually wave clear. And this is the most DAMWON Kia game I've seen them play this entire tournament. It feels on a knife's edge. They win one fight, and your base is gone.
Yeah. No, the game was so incredibly slow. Incremental advantages looked for the entire game long. DAMWON Kia could barely even find them a lot of the time, but in the end, they get the keys to the kingdom and they will break down the Mad Lions Nexus. Second place, going over to DAMWON Kia. Scoreline equal with that of RNG after the PSG upset. This Rumble stage is very, very interesting, but man, Mad Lions, you understood their game plan. They were so patient, but in the end, it was found by DAMWON Kia, and it shows that they've still got it, Cronicler. And I think that a lot of people are correct in saying that DAMWON Kia are not the team that we were expecting coming here to MSI, but they take a well-deserved bow here.